The Classic Mega Edition will be the next Roblox event. Or so, I think so, and there's some hints that lead towards it being so. The Hunt Mega Edition just ended, so it's that time to look to the next Roblox event, and that's why in this video we're going to be taking a look at the next Roblox event and predicting what the event is going to be about. First, we need to take a look at the Roblox events that happened last year. Now, as many of you know, Roblox events finally returned for the first time since 2020 in March of 2024. This event ended up being the Hunt First Edition, and now this year, in March 2025, we saw the Hunt Mega Edition. Now, of course, this means that they did a sequel of the first event, and now looking at the next Roblox event in 2024, that would have been the Classic. So, the suspicions are that we're going to see the Classic Mega Edition as the next Roblox event. In fact, I've already seen people making posts about the Classic Mega Edition being a possibility as the next event, and I even decided to make my own tweet just to see what people thought, and it got a lot of support. Now, if you played all the events in 2024, it's kind of the consensus that the Classic was the best Roblox event since the return of Roblox events. In my video where I ranked every event from 2024, I actually put the Classic at number 1 by quite a big margin. So I think it would make sense if Roblox saw all the positive feedback from the Classic and decided to do a sequel this year in the Classic Mega Edition. Now this brings up the question of, would Roblox just do a repeat of all the events last year, then doing the Games Mega Edition, the Haunts Mega Edition, and the Winter Spotlight Mega Edition? I don't think that's the case. I think at most they would do a Mega Edition of the Classic just because of the positive feedback. And honestly, most people didn't like the other events anyway. I actually found this really interesting tweet here from Agent Olo, and he's got a picture here of one of the textures from one of the prizes in the Hunt Mega Edition, and he says, the Morse code on the Nova Tech Pack translates to either X9 or 1X. Now, 1X, the first thing you might think of is 1X, 1X, 1X1, and he was in the Classic, was actually the first return of him since the previous events. Now, everyone's suspicion with this is that it's a hint towards the next Roblox event, being of course the Classic Mega Edition. Additionally, if you remember, Roblox actually promised us that the ticks and the tokens earned in the Classic were going to be used for future events. And so far through 4 events, the ticks and the tokens have not been used. So it would make sense in a sequel to the Classic where they could be used again. Now that we have decided on what we think the next Roblox event is going to be, let's make some predictions on the specifics of this event. Starting off, let's predict when this next event is going to be. Looking back at the Classic, it began on May 23rd and ended on May 28th. So most likely, if the Classic Mega Edition were to happen, it would probably be similar around late May. And this would make a lot of sense because looking back at the Hunt First Edition, the Hunt Mega Edition was around the exact same time 1 year later. So it would make sense to have the same situation here. Although, I think there's one big thing that Roblox would change if they did a sequel to the Classic. In the regular Classic, the event was only 5 days. By far the shortest event we've had, and it was honestly just not enough time. I think with the next event, they would at least make it probably 10 days or more. Also in the Classic, we saw the lowest selection of games of any event with only 15. And I actually think they're gonna repeat that and only have a minimal amount of games in the sequel to be similar to the original event. One of the biggest critics to the Classic was the boss fight. The boss fight was very boring and didn't really have much to it. Additionally, there was no prize if you actually beat it, so it was pretty pointless and a lot of people disliked it, and that's why I think in the Classic Mega Edition, they would do a bigger and better boss fight to make up for their shortcomings in the first edition. However, at the end of the day, these predictions are not confirmed and they are just theories. But if Roblox actually did the Classic Mega Edition, I think it would be great because I think they could take their best work of 2024 and improve it into something greater, and especially after the Hunt Mega Edition, I think Roblox events are on a very good path, and I see a very bright future. But let me know in the comment section down below, what are your predictions for the Classic Mega Edition, or maybe you have a different event in mind for what the next event is going to be, so feel free to let me know. I'm sure in a month or two we're going to start seeing our first leaks and teasers for this next event, and I will be ready and excited for maybe the Classic Mega Edition.